Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Hi, my name is Erin, and today we're going to be doing some funness like how I started with my channel with makeup and movies. We're going to be doing that again today. So I have this palette from Hot Topic. It's eyeshadows with a Chucky Child's Play theme. I mean, what more can you ask for Halloween? I'm going to be making a playlist where I do makeup that's Halloween themed, not necessarily makeup looks for Halloween, because I don't know if I have that type of skill, but Halloween or horror themed makeup, which, I mean, that's a dream come true right there, right? So I will be using this palette from Hot Topic and talking about it while I am ranking the Child's Play series. I'm ranking all 8 movies, including the remake or kind of like reimagining, reboot, I don't know what you would call it, but the one that just came out last year. I'm gonna have all of 8 of the movies ranked from worst to best. Can you guess what's the worst one? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I think this is a pretty popular opinion on what's the worst one, but I know once you get to the top, there's varying opinions on what's the best Child's Play movie. And in my opinion, this franchise doesn't have a lot of duds, a lot of bad movies, except for the bottom one. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. If that's interesting to you, definitely stick on around. Definitely look at some other content on my channel because I do things like this all the time. If you like horror and you like makeup, then you're at the right place. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and get right on into the video. Alright guys, let's hop right into this palette. This is the Chucky Eyeshadow palette. It has the tag, "He wants to be your best friend." So this is what it looks like on the outside. It's beautiful. It's almost like you have a DVD here, but inside is makeup. So you have a nice mirror with "Let's Play." The shades in here are "Wanna Play," "Best Friends," Chucky, "Share Secrets," Andy, "Killer Doll," "Good Guys," "Bacteria's Included," Till the End," "Heidi Ho," "Ugly Doll," and "Talk to Me." So I love how they use obviously all of those shade names from references from the movie. Of course they would. And the color scheme is interesting. I definitely think it does pull out some colors from the movies, not just from specifically from the doll, but from the Chucky doll, but like from the movies. Like this reminds me of like part 1 and part 2, these colors. Sorry if I'm blinding you guys. I have the sheet on it so I don't stab my finger in there. And it does have these cute pictures on the front as well. I just think that the packaging is really well done, which is mostly why I got this from Hot Topic. It does have the thing down here, like the licenses. Universal Studio, all rights reserved. This was $16.90, but I did get some percentage off because they had a sale at Hot Topic. Total net weight is 1.05 ounces or 30 grams, and then it is cruelty free. It says that here on the back. It says it's made in China. I don't see where it says the shelf life, which is strange because I always see that. But maybe it's under the sticker, I don't know. But there's no shelf life back here. But yeah, so that's everything on here, and here's the back. It also has the shades on the back with the names of them, and there's 12 eyeshadows in total. Look at, I'm sorry, just one more time. I love how they put the doll on the front of there and then had that rip there showing what he looks like in further movies down the line. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I went ahead and primed my eyes with a mixture of the ABH primer as well as the Pretty Vulgar primer. Most of it was this though, which is why it's got a little bit more of a starky white base. This is pretty light too. They're not, neither one of them are like my skin tone, which can be annoying sometimes, but it's good for when I want the colors to pop. And I think that's going to be good because when I swatched these, the swatches were kind of a little scary. It is from Hot Topic. I don't know if this is like them making the shadows or where they got these shadows from necessarily, but swatches don't mean everything, so I'm not going to take that and be like, oh, the palette's going to be absolutely terrible. But when I swatched this one as well, the Beetlejuice one, which I'm not using today, it was the same thing, like the shadows swatched kind of a little terrible. And I'll try to insert swatch pictures into the video if I remember, because I've already swatched it and took pictures. But yeah, so I already primed. Let's go ahead and get started into the look. I don't know where I actually want to go with this. maybe I should try the harder shades, like those blues. It's kind of scary. Or maybe I should try to do like an orangey look. I think I want to go for the blues, actually. Or even like the blues and like put that red-ish, that brown in there too. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the brown first, and I'm going to take this brush from Cara Beauty. It's just like a fluffy whatever brush. And I'm going to dip into this brown shade called Batteries Included, and I'm going to put that into the crease. This brush is kind of large, but it does have a mirror on this palette, so I'm just going to use the mirror on here. So I'm taking that into the crease and then up higher. Okay, that was fairly easy. I love getting into the spirit of Halloween. Okay, so while I'm doing this, like I said, I am going to be ranking the Child's Play movies in the spirit of Halloween, in the spirit of my channel being focused on beauty and horror, which I love to mix together. So, for my ranking, okay, a little background. I did grow up with the Child's Play franchise, or the Chucky doll and that whole franchise. So for me, there is quite a bit of nostalgia mixed into this as well. So for sure, that's going to go into my ranking. And also, disclaimer, obviously this is just my ranking. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to, have the same list as mine. Definitely, if you disagree, leave your list or your rankings down below. But this is just my thought process and what I like about these movies, and some of the nostalgia goes into it. And in fact, I like pretty much, this is a series, in my opinion, that doesn't have very many duds. Like, most of the movies are good. There's not a, huge amount of bad movies. There is one movie that is really bad, which you could probably already guess what that is. Just right now, probably just guess. But overall, all of the movies in the Child's Play franchise are not, are pretty solid. So I pretty much like all of the movies. It's just that I like some more than others. There's some aspects about some that I like more than others. And then there's some nostalgia factor with some of them. So that's what has determined my list. And I'll share all of that information as I go through them. But definitely share your list down below in the description box. So without further ado, you can probably, like I said, there's one movie that I think is universally not loved, they're kind of despised even, and that is my number 8, and that is The Seed of Chucky. This one for me just is not a great movie. I don't think that, I just don't think it was good. I don't think the direction they went with Chucky, he's always been kind of cheeky, kind of funny, even from the first film. He had great, one-liners, and he said funny things, even in that first film. But, and, that's accredited to, obviously, the script, the character, and Brad Dourif, who does the voice. But I think in The Seed of Chucky, they just went a little too much with it, with the joking silliness, and it just kind of ruined it for me. I also just think that, overall, the, story, it was kind of silly, and the way they went about it was kind of silly. They took, I think, what was Bride of Chucky, which was a great installment into the franchise, and it just didn't work well with where they would try to go with that. And I just didn't like it. I think that the kid doll is kind of silly. They could have went with that, but it could have been scarier, or it could have had more you should have more to go on, and I don't think we got that from this movie. And then it just was Chucky was just too silly. There's just too many silly scenes, silly plot points that just were weird and strange. Yeah, it didn't do it for me. I just think that it just was a big joke in this movie, basically. It turned from a horror movie to, a comedy with kills, So for this one, Seed of Chucky is definitely number 8. Going into, okay, so after that, these other movies in the list are pretty much ones that I like and that I can rewatch, and I don't have a huge issue with them, for the most part. So the next one is going to be Cult of Chucky, which is one of the newer ones that has came out recently. When I first watched this, it came out, I believe it came straight to, it was definitely straight to video. I think it came right onto Netflix. And I remember watching it like soon after it was released. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the movie was pretty well done. I like that they included the character Andy back in. I like that they expanded on the girl from the Curse of Chucky. What was her name? Oh my god, now I'm forgetting her name. But she's Brad Dourif's daughter in real life. And I like that they expanded on her and told us what happened afterwards. So I liked all of that. I just think that it could have been done a little bit better. And I also feel like they're starting to add in too much lore to the Chucky doll. Too many different things can happen with him. He's putting himself into, you know, multiple dolls. And it's just like, it's kind of messing up the sort of lore and stuff to the movie. But I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe that's just my thinking. But I do like that they included some homages to the original with some of the kills. Or to other movies, not the original, but like to other movies. And I think it has some pretty goriness to it, which is pretty good. Although, I always say that stomping the head one, that was just too much for me, personally. It was overkill when she stomped on the guy's head. But he kind of deserved it, though. By the way, spoiler if you didn't know that. This whole list is a spoiler. So, yeah. But yeah, that's why this one is coming in lower, because it was good, but there were some things I felt like that they just were kind of adding in just because they can add it into the lore of Chucky and into what he can do, and just kind of just adding stuff, you know? Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why this one is number 7. I just like the other ones above this a bit more. Next is number 6 is going to be the Child's Play remake that just came out last year. I actually went to go see it in theaters, and I have to say, I actually really liked this movie. I don't think people gave it a chance. I don't see anything wrong with this movie. I think it had great kills. They did something different. They didn't try to continue on, you know, just doing the same thing and just being with tired remakes, you know, over and over again like we see with other franchises. They actually try something different. If you're going to do a remake, you might as well try at least to do some things different or adding your own spice. And I think they definitely did that with this. I think Mark Hamill did a good job with the voice. I despise the look of the doll, which probably is what really bumped this down to number 6 for me. But I think overall the movie was good. I don't think that this movie deserves as much hatred as what it gets. And I think that they had good characters, good kills, and they really brought it to a modern audience with a modern take on Chucky. You know, it doesn't have to be that exact storyline. I do wish they had called it something other than Child's Play, though. I don't know, that's just a weird thing for me. If they had called it, like, Chucky or something, that would have been cool. But, yeah. Overall, I liked it. I don't see anything wrong with it. And it's a pretty good movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely give it a try. I believe it's on some streaming sites, actually. So, and I wouldn't mind having a sequel to it as well. I think that it would do good with a sequel. Yeah, so that's number 6. Number 5 for me is going to be the Curse of Chucky. This one I really liked. I like how they went back to like the darker route for this movie. It was really gothic looking, the whole atmosphere of it. And I like how they gave us some like more background on Charles Lee Ray, and just so much stuff went into it. Like, Chucky doesn't just have this one enemy. He had a life before he was the doll. You know, it wasn't just Andy. It wasn't just, you know, the people he came into encounter with. He had certain things going on in his life before all of that happened. And I like that they brought that up in the Curse of Chucky. But yeah, so I went off and did my other eye really quick. But just so I won't be like sitting here forever. Taking a little bit of this shade now and just putting that on top. But yeah, I liked Curse of Chucky a lot. I thought that they did a really good job making it super like gothic, scary. The character of, oh god, what is her name in the wheelchair? I'm blanking on this girl's name. Is it Nika? Nika, something like that. Which is funny because my nickname is, that's my nickname. But I liked her. I think she was a great character. And I like the aspect of her being in the wheelchair because it gives us a new element to the story, like someone that can't necessarily run from Chucky. You know what I'm saying? I mean, get away as she might like, but she still fights back and she's not going to be put down. Does that make sense? So I like the whole story, and I think there were some good kills in this one too. Like I said, they definitely went darker. They definitely went with some gore in this one, and it paid off. It paid off for real. All right, coming in at number 4 is going to be Child's Play 3. Number 3. I know a lot of people hate on this one, and maybe it's just because I grew up with part 3 as a kid, but I like this movie. I don't know why. I like this movie. Just to interject, you guys, these shadows are actually working surprisingly well based on what I saw from the swatches. Like, very nicely. I am seeing a little bit of patchiness with that dark blue, but I've seen that with a lot of dark shades before. And honestly, on my outer lids, for some reason, for the past like 2 weeks, I've been having patchiness on the outer corners of both my eyes. So I'm not going to fault the palette for that, but this looks really good, actually. I mean, for being a Hot Topic palette and being that I paid like $16 for it, which is not actually that cheap, but yeah. But anyways, back to the list. Child's Play 3, I think, is actually entertaining. I mean, I hear a lot of people say they don't like this one, or it was boring, it was the military setting wasn't for them. Every comment, like every one I've watched that ranked this lower were pointing out those things. But I think it has a certain amount of charm to it. I think the characters are kind of funny. I think Chucky does amazing. He's doing his one-liners. He's killing. He's doing his thing in here. I think the addition of another kid is cool. Having Andy again in here. I like this movie. It's not my top one. No, I don't think it's the greatest. No, it does have some dull moments. Not gonna lie. But it has some really iconic moments too, like the hairdressing part, the hair cutting part. That kill with the guy was amazing. The part where they're thinking they're shooting paintballs, but they're shooting real guns. That was pretty genius. And then the whole end sequence was hilarious. I mean, not hilarious, but it was like hilarious. I'm thinking of another scene. The whole end part was just super duper cool with how they're running through this carnival. Maybe it's a tad random, but I mean, it's believable. And then the way Chucky dies, yeah, again, probably not the most believable thing to have an open fan like that in a carnival, in this huge ride at a carnival that looks pretty rundown, but it makes for a great kill for Chucky. You can't deny that. I mean, that was pretty gnarly, pretty cool. Another scene I really love in this one is when the guy Chucky pops up and the guy, he just like, he doesn't even get to kill him. He just has a heart attack. And he's like, I think it was when he said, "You gotta be effing kidding me." Hilarious. So, maybe it's the nostalgia. I don't know. I like this movie. That's why it's coming in at number 4 for me. Okay, so coming in at number 3, we're getting into those top ones, is for me going to be Bride of Chucky. I like this movie. I think this movie is fun. It's got some good kills. It's got Chucky. And then it introduces us to Tiffany, one of the more iconic characters added into this franchise that just is, you know, a perfect companion to Killer Doll Chucky. I mean, she's as crazy as he is, right? It just makes a lot of sense for them to have added him in a little partner here. Someone that definitely was kind of almost worshiping him in a way. And she gets just as sadistic and crazy as he does. I think that it's got just the right amount of funny and scary mixed in. They don't go overboard like the one after Seed of Chucky. They keep it at just the right amount of funny, added in with the horror. Kills are good. I mean, you get that iconic one at the motel with the couple that stole the money. The aspect of the teenagers, I liked it. I mean, it's not the most entertaining thing. They're kind of annoying, but it works. It works. And I like the fact that they turned Chucky and Tiffany against each other at the end, and we get a doll fight. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't love that? So, yeah, that's why Bride of Chucky is at number 3 for me. I just think it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to watch. Like, who doesn't have fun watching this movie? Alright, next, coming in at number 2, as I'm finishing off the eye look. Perfect. I'm going to put this shade Wanna Play in the inner corner. Picking up good. It is. I'm going to spray it. Coming in at number 2 is the original Child's Play, the first one in the movie that started this whole franchise off, which means that you now know what is going to be my number 1. But let's talk about this one first. I just think that this movie is really good. I grew up with this movie. I think that it's iconic. It introduced us to such an iconic character of Chucky. He's such an icon, and now, obviously, I mean, you can tell. So much merchandise, so many movies, so much that went into, that have built off of that original movie that was so iconic. And the things that I liked about this movie, I think Andy's a great character. Chucky is a great villain. The mom did excellent. The cop was good. I liked that the concept of a killer doll is not necessarily a new concept. I know the Twilight Zone had done it before in one of theirs, which I love that episode, actually. I love the Twilight Zone. If you haven't seen Twilight Zone, the original ones from like the 60s, definitely watch those. But they did that before, and the concept of a killer doll is not nothing necessarily new. But I like that they've amped it up to like 10 with Chucky, right? In this first one, he's running around. I like the kind of mystery. I mean, we know it's the doll. At least I knew it was the doll, but you don't actually see the doll until much later. I love the reveal with the battery thing. Genius. And I think the movie is really well done. There are some aspects of it that look a bit dated, but I think it's a fun movie. It's entertaining. I grew up with it, and that's why it's at my number 2. But one I love just a little bit more will be Child's Play 2. I think this movie is just chef's kiss. I love the introduction of the foster sister. I like the fact that we're continuing with Andy, and he's got like almost PTSD. I like the fact that he's going through something that not his mom. He can't be with his mom anymore. I just think the movie is really good, how they added all those aspects in. And then we have his foster parents, who it's not like he's a real villain, but the foster dad is almost like an antagonist within himself, because he's such a kind of, jerk, a tool, really, honestly. So I like how they added that in as well. I think the deaths are cool. I think that the build up to everything, especially that finale, it just transitions so well. I think how Chucky has some really great one-liners in this one as well. The most iconic scene is that scene with the a yardstick, when he gets the teacher. Like, I mean, so entertaining. I like the ending is like the best ending, I would say. It's one of the best finales in a horror movie ever, really. I mean, can I say that? Like, yeah, I think I'm going to say that, because it's just so much going on, and he's just coming after them, and he's going to keep coming after them, even though they keep coming back and trying to defeat him. And then when he realizes, like, he's been in that body for too long, it's amazing how he just goes berserk. And I think that there was some great, like, effects, him getting the arm chopped off, the blood, and then when he gets melted in all that grossness. I think the movie is great. I think I love the two, what I would say, main characters here of Andy and the sister. Oh God, I can't not remember her name for the life of me. Shows you how prepared I am for this video. But I love them, their dynamic together, and her protecting him. And of course, Chucky's on his A game in this. He is. So yeah, that's why this one is at my number 1. I just have fun with it, and I grew up with it again. Like, especially like the first 4 movies, I definitely grew up with those first 4 movies. I watched them a lot as a kid. I watched them still as an adult, and it's just a fun franchise. So that's where my ranking is for those. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead off camera and finish the rest of my makeup, and I'll come back with final thoughts. Overall, this palette it's cute. Like, I'm surprised. I'm glad I have this. And I would have kept this anyways, even if the quality wasn't that great, because it's Chucky. Like, why not, you know? This is the type of horror stuff that really gets me going. I mean, I love collecting other horror memorabilia. Not memorabilia, is that the right word? I am blanking on words right now. I need a thesaurus in front of me at all times. I love collecting other horror type stuff, but I love when it just combines with my favorite thing, which is one of my favorite things, which is makeup. So, you guys, I'll be right back in just a second. Alright, guys, I'm back with the final look. I went ahead and did a high pony and finished off the rest of my face. This look, I think the eyeshadow, although there was a little bit of patchiness in the outer corners, but that's been happening to me with every palette I've been trying out recently, there's been patchiness in the outer corner. I don't know if that's something in my skincare that I need to change up or what. But otherwise, all over the rest of the lid, all of the shadows look really nice. Shimmer looks nice. Nothing spectacular. Nothing mind-blowing. Not my favorite formula. But I like it. And I'm actually glad that I like the formula and not just the packaging. So that's good for this. I love this. And of course, with the movies, I love this franchise, like I've already said. And I wanted to give a little bonus here at the end by ranking these movies. Not ranking them. I already ranked them. Rating these movies. Now, usually what I do when I do movie reviews, I do a letter grade because I'm playing off the fact that I'm a teacher, so I'll give it like an A, a B, a C, whatever the case may be. But for this, I decided to go ahead and do number rankings, and I'll translate that to a grade that will be like equivalent. So starting at the bottom with the Seed of Chucky. Now, how I started to, when I was thinking about this, I actually started ranking these because I wanted to rank all of the movies I've done a first time watch so far on my channel, which if you don't know, I've done some first time watches for movies I've never seen. I did 4 videos so far already, although one is not up as of right now, but I'm editing it right now, so it should be up well before this video. And so I was thinking I should rank all of the first time watches I've done so far and do a video about that. But it was so hard for me to rank them because so far I've liked all of the movies. And so then I was like, let me think about some of the worst movies I've seen and some of the best movies I've seen, and that'll help me judge where I should put these movies. And then that ended up with me ranking a lot of the Child's Play movies because I've seen all of them, and so that helps. And I was already like, have most of them ranked. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and rank the other ones, and I can put that on to the end of my video for today. So starting at number 4 here. And so just to give you a kind of idea of how I rank these, again, like I said, it was based on movies that I really loved, what I ranked really high, and movies that I ranked really low. So like one of my highest rated movies would be Nightmare on Elm Street. I just love that movie. I'm obsessed with it. Or Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And like one of my lowest ranked movies, horror movies that I've seen, could be like Children of the Corn 2, Halloween Resurrection, Prom Night. So using that as a basis, this is where I placed the rest of these. So number 8, Seed of Chucky, is a 4 rating. It's one of the lowest ratings I have on this paper right now, because I have some other ones, because it's just not, it's just not good. It does rank above Children of the Corn 2, although I might need to look at that movie again. I've seen it several times. It's bad. But Seed of Chucky is pretty bad too. I can just say that the production value of Seed of Chucky is quite a lot better than Children of the Corn 2, which is why it got higher. Then way above that is Cult of Chucky with a 7.4. Then Child's Play, the remake, with a 7.5. The Curse of Chucky, I gave a 7.8. So like if you were doing grades with these, so Seed of Chucky would be definitely an F. Cult of Chucky would be like a C or a D, depending on where you live. Child's Play remake would be like a C or D again. Curse of Chucky, I gave a 7.8, which would be like a C, I would think. Child's Play 3, I gave a solid 8, so like a B minus. Bride of Chucky, I gave it 8.3, so just like a B. Then jumping up of quite a few points again, Child's Play, I gave a 9. Again, there's a nostalgia factor to that as well, so like an A minus. And then Child's Play 2, I gave a 9.5, which would be like just a solid A. So those are my ratings for those movies. What would you rate these movies? Like, tell me what you guys think about that. yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. Definitely go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, as well as like I said, the first time watches to horror movies, as well as any more beauty makeup videos if you like that. So yeah, definitely subscribe, give me some thumbs up, and suggest some more video ideas down in the description box that I could do in the future. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I will check you out in the next video. Bye bye. Stay safe.